Welcome one and all, I am Joshino and your host for this video. Today I will be both reviewing and giving some guidance on how to use the new conglomerate's AC-X11 carbine, along with some different playstyles achieved through using different attachments with the gun, whilst overarchingly answering the question, is the AC-X11 a monster? There will be some timestamp links below to different sections in the description. So I was originally going to make this directly after my GD7F review, which was under the same title, and this was going to be a follow-up called The Real Monster, as the AC-X11 has been my fastest Araxian weapon, par the Viper. However, the NC got overpopulated and I took a break from the faction. Let's have a look at the statistical jargon. First and foremost, the AC-X11 falls into the top damage tier of carbines, alone standing atop the rest in this category, sporting a wholesome 200 damage at 10 meters. Its minimum damage falls off at 80 meters with 143 damage, which is still high, but I'll explain in my range setup why it isn't such a massive advantage at longer ranges. Also unique to the carbine and balancing its carnivorous damage per bullet is a small magazine size of 24. The rate of fire is also quite low at 500 rounds per minute, also being a part of the balancing act with its super high damage. The bullet velocity at 480 is also quite low, which paired with the rate of fire and size of the clip can be limiting at range, which I will also talk about more in my ranged loadout. The reload time is very similar to the mercenary and isn't noticeably lengthy. Furthermore, it is one of the things which I think gives it a bit of an edge over the GD7F in terms of killing potential, in that there is less downtime between kills. With both weapons up close hip firing, you can quite comfortably get 2 kills per magazine, but the GD7F is frustrating in the between times with its long reload. This is also important to note that in the long run, the small clip size doesn't limit the amount of kills you can get compared to other weapons. Although, also taking the GD7F for the sake of comparing two of the big hitting NC carbines, one for the high rate of fire and the other one for damage, the GD7F is a much better one-on-one dueling weapon in that 10 meter zone where hip firing is king. But it loses its advantage the closer the AC-X11 is to the enemy, as the hip fire and aim towards the free shot head will be more achievable. This is also quite important to note when you are forced into dueling engagements. Really, you should try to close the gap if at all possible, or lengthen the gap, whichever one results in you least likely being exposed. So first of all, with the high damage, like I suggested in the mercenary versus default weapons, high damage benefits most those with the best aim. As with headshots, you'll take down the enemy extremely quickly, and it can take only a few bullets to the head to kill, 3 at 10 meters range and 4 out at range. This makes it a really potent piece of kit for crack shots. Something else to note is that the 24 bullets per magazine may go down very quickly and your whole ammo supply may be short-lived, although 2 kills per magazine in close to mid-quarters is very achievable, and personally I like to be cheeky and use enemy ammo packs for my own sustenance. However, it might be a good idea to take the ammo belt. Also, there is quite a bit of recoil with this weapon, but it isn't too hard to learn the pattern and get used to firing quite sizable 3 or 4 shot bursts at enemies and get quite proficient aiming down the sight. Going over my first and also quite quirky setup for the weapon, I present the Silent Stomper. Combining the suppressor on the front with the advanced forward grip and 2x scope, using the light assault class, the silent yet heavy hitting as an elephant setup works very well in close to close mid ranges. My general tactic with this setup is to get up and into people's faces with the weapon, or to be more precise, their backs. And you can use it very effectively to clear big chunks of enemies without anyone really noticing. The reason for the advanced forward grip is that this weapon, even with the suppressor, is very potent in the closer mid ranges, where you will ADS. And getting those headshots will be a massive reward. However, the laser sight doesn't seem to give too much of a hip firing advantage, and the way to use the AC-X11 in close quarters is to almost treat it like a shotgun, but to try and aim at the head somewhat. Also, the such high bullet damage won't be too phased by the not so great hip fire, and you can forgivably miss a bit in a lot of engagements. Furthermore, getting up into close ranges where hip firing doesn't matter so much means you will probably hit no matter what. This is the setup I use most to Araxium and is a big killer, really supporting the push to making it my fastest Araxium. Something to note is that the suppressor got buffed very slightly recently, so that it isn't as much of a negative side effect, so this setup may be more enticing now than ever. Okay, so on to a range setup for the AC-X11. I call this one the Roy Ranger, combining the infinite ammunition of the Engineer and the compensator attachment along with a 3.4x or 4x scope. This is a potent support weapon, making it able to hold back and pin down enemy advances in more open areas or between cover. The compensator noticeably holds back the kick and helps steady your aim, but some might think they can handle it without. It is well suited for engaging at medium ranges and to the edge of medium ranges, keeping quite a punch with the still high damage of the weapon at any range, and it is very good in closer medium ranges, when you can mostly headshot. Combined with the ultimate ammo, gives infinite power to its wielder. Okay, I am exaggerating. It does have its downsides as a ranged weapon. Comparing the Roy Ranger versus the Razor GD23 with the same setup, compensator 3.4x scope, the GD23 just seems to work much better. There is less nursing of the bullet drop and of generally the recoil. Also, there is less of a gap between shots, and also because the minimum damage, it is still realistically 4 shots to the head for each weapon. Although the Roy Ranger is still a viable option, it is still better at medium range rather than further out, and towards the 80 meter range it will be outclassed by weapons like the GD23 and the Pulse RC. So onto the Vanny 11A, like the vanilla but with ones. But they are from the AC-X11, oh forget it. Anyway, with the vanilla setup, I ran the weapon with a clear barrel, the advanced forward grip and 2x red dot scope. This setup really just extends the range with the Silent Stomper, and can be mostly as effective engaging in close quarters, whilst giving you a little more control at medium ranges where you won't have to nurse the drop so much. Just don't expect to be so hidden. I also like playing around with this, and it doesn't just confine you to dropping behind groups and getting up close, really being a jack of all trades. You can still get up close and personal and do well, but with more heatants to your minimap and your own entry to an area. But really, being able to get in there occasionally, there are still lots of players who are overwhelmed by the battle and won't notice you. Anyway, that is the end of my setups I've been running. In conclusion, the AC-X11 is really a weapon of the refined, power-hungry gentleman. It pays off for those who can get headshots and in some cases make daring and calculated movements to get within the crowd. So I would say it fits in with a lot of the NC weaponry in that they favour higher skilled players. It is not a weapon that is easy to just go around with and spray, as it isn't completely a dueling weapon. However, I have had a lot of fun with it, and with a little practice, it really is a monster. Is it worth your money, or your time, aka your certification points? That is only up to you. A 700 station cash and the 1000 certs are a lot to put into one weapon. But if you want to try something new, and you want a challenge that will pay off, this is the gun for you. I hope this has either been helpful or interesting, and thank you very much for watching. If you feel this is worthy, like the video, share it, or whatever niceties you desire. If you comment, I will respond, unless it is not a question. If you have any suggestions or requests, fire away, and I will be happy to give them a go. Also, if you want to see more, subscribe. Until next time, Joshino.